Hi, my name is Jenna Hanks and I would like to introduce my topic for my final project. I am going to be looking at access to green spaces in Raleigh based on socioeconomic status. One of the main pillars of environmental justice is ensuring that all people have the same access to green spaces regardless of their socioeconomic status. Unfortunately, this is not always the case. I will be looking at access to greenways or open spaces in low socioeconomic areas, which will be defined as, in this case, equal to or less than $50,000 average household income, as well as access to open spaces and greenways in high socioeconomic status, which will be defined as being equal to or more than $100,000 average household income, and these or the access will be examined in relation to factors such as access to public transportation stops and churches, since they tend to have after-school programs. For my questions, for the first one, I'm going to be looking at where are or how many green spaces are available to citizens living in low socioeconomic areas compared to high socioeconomic areas. I expected to find that there are more green spaces in high socioeconomics than low socioeconomic areas. The second question will be how many open spaces and greenways are there within 1.5 miles of a bus stop or a church in Raleigh. I expect this to be a good portion of the green spaces will be within the 1.5 mile radius because that's fairly large considering there are lots of bus stops and lots of churches in Raleigh. The third question will be what is the perimeter of open spaces in the identified high socioeconomic areas versus low socioeconomic areas. So for my data, I was able to find municipal data for the boundary from the NC Department of Transportation, information of locations of open spaces and greenways from Wake County GIS. Go Triangle had information for public transportation access. The ArcGIS website had information on the churches, and City of Raleigh had information regarding status and household income. So first thing is I used the municipal boundary data from the transportation to find the Raleigh city outline, which is seen here in gray. I then used that to clip the enriched data that included the average household income to this boundary. Once that was done, I used the select by attribute tool to isolate the low socioeconomic areas, which are seen here in orange, and the high socioeconomic areas, which are seen here in green. I then exported those as individual layers. Once that was done, I clipped the Wake County open spaces once to the high socioeconomic areas, which are the open spaces can be seen here in green, and that's shown on a monochromatic scale based on the density of acreage. I did the same thing and clipped the open spaces in Wake County to the low socioeconomic area, and that can be seen here also on a monochromatic scale shown here in the dark red. Next, I clipped the Wake County greenways to the high socioeconomic area, and then again to the low socioeconomic. That can be seen here as the gray lines and black lines respectively. For the bus stops, I merged the Raleigh City bus stops along with the Wolfline bus stops and clipped those to the respective socioeconomic areas. The high socioeconomic area has more green space and less bus stops, while the low socioeconomic area has less green spaces and more bus stop, which is in line with what I thought that I would find.